Hello, Panthers! Loans can be a scary thing, especially with all the news about climbing student loan debt. Understanding what loans are and what your borrowing options are is key to making sure you can make your payments and stay out of default when you start your journey after jury. So first off, what are loans? Loans are funds that students can borrow, either from a private or federal lender that must be paid back. There are loans that require a credit check and some that don't. We'll get into that a little bit later when we talk about the different types of loans. The most important and seemingly obvious part about loans is they are funds that you must pay back. There are 4 different types of loans that I'll talk about today: subsidized, unsubsidized, plus, and alternative. We'll go in order of best options, starting with the subsidized loans. The subsidized loan is a federal direct loan, which means you are borrowing this money from the federal government. For this loan, the government pays the interest while you're going to school at least half time, so when your payments come due, it's just the principal or the exact amount borrowed that you owe back. This is the option that we push the most when students are looking for loans because it has this great bonus, and it has a relatively low interest rate when the interest does start stacking up. The unsubsidized loan is also a federal direct loan, so this is coming from the government again, only this time the government doesn't pay the interest while you're going to school at least half time. The interest accrues or builds on top of the total amount of the loan. The interest rate on this type of loan is the same as the subsidized loan, usually about 3.75%. When you get your financial aid email, you'll usually see that subsidized and unsubsidized loans are offered together. This doesn't mean that you have to accept both. They are just the 2 best options and the most common when students are looking for loans to help cover costs. If you are eligible for subsidized and unsubsidized loans, you will be offered your eligible amounts before the fall or spring semester. You do have limits on how much you can borrow, though. As you can see here, the loan limits are linked to what type of student you are, dependent or independent, and what year in school you are, freshman, sophomore, junior, or senior. I've linked this loan limit page below so you can take a closer look if you want. The next loan type is the PLUS. This is also a federal loan, but it has 2 options: the parent version or the graduate student version. The parent version is a loan that your parent takes out with the expectation that it will be used to pay for your education. For this one, you must be a dependent student. The second option is the graduate student version, in which you must be, you guessed it, a graduate student. This loan does have a higher interest rate than the subsidized and unsubsidized loan, and it is a credit-based loan, which means they'll run your credit score before approving the loan. The interest rate for this loan is usually around 6.3%. To apply, your parent will fill out the PLUS loan application on the FSA website using the same user and password that they use to file your FAFSA. So to recap, subsidized, unsubsidized, and PLUS loans are all borrowed from the federal government. Subsidized loans have the interest paid on the loan while you're going to school at least half time, but that's the only loan that they do that for. And PLUS loans are either for parents of dependent students or graduate level students. For all of those, your repayment starts 6 months after your graduation, or if you drop below half-time. Alternative loans are the last type, and this is kind of a mixed bag. These are credit-based loans from private lenders, so your credit score will determine if you are approved for these and what kind of interest rate you'll get. Each lender also has different qualifications and repayment schedules, so be sure that you're reading what you're actually signing up for. A cool way to compare commonly used lenders by jury students is to use the ELM tool on the loans page of the jury website. Here it'll be under credit-based loans, alternative loans, and you'll just click this link here, ELM resource webpage. Next, let's talk about repayment for those federal loans. There are a lot of tools out there made specifically to help you understand how your repayment is going to work. There's more than just a one-size-fits-all repayment plan, and you can work with your loan servicer to find the one that's best for you. The loan simulator on the studentaid.gov website is a great, easy-to-use tool to figure out what plan might work for you and how much your payments are going to be a month. So really important stuff. I'm not going to go through each plan and what that plan means or how much you're going to pay on each plan, but I'll put a link below so you can take a closer look. The person to discuss all these details with is actually going to be your loan servicer. If you don't know who your loan servicer is, it's easy to find out if you go to the studentaid.gov website. Once here, you'll hover over Manage Loans and click on Who's My Servicer. When you get here, you'll scroll down and click on the Visit Your Account dashboard. That'll take you to a login where you'll enter your FSA ID and your password. That'll take you to a list of your loan history, and you can see who your loan servicer is there. Your loan servicer is your go-to person for repayment questions or if you need to change your plan later on. The last thing I want to mention is default. Yeah, it's as bad as it sounds. Being in default means you didn't pay your loan payments like you said you would when you signed your master promissory note before receiving your first loan payment. This can happen even after missing one payment, so you have to make sure you're keeping up with things. Set a reminder on your phone or your calendar so you can remember when your payments are due. Default can impact your future by negatively affecting your credit score. That means it'll be harder to get a car, buy a house, and do all the other adulting things. If you do end up missing a payment though, reach out to your loan servicer ASAP so they can help you fix the issue. There are ways to get out of default just so you don't stress too much, but it's much better to just avoid the whole thing altogether and make your payments. There are a lot of other small details about loans that may apply to you, but we hit the highlights. If you do have more questions, or if you have a question about a specific loan, reach out to us at 417-873-7312 or visit us in Bay Hall on the second floor. We're all pretty nice, and sometimes we have free pens.